So tell me a little bit about your character. We understand he kind of runs things at the hospital. So
I play Michael Ragosa, and he's the head of the hospital. He runs the entire hospital,
is
which
he
is
the
an enormous.
procedure guy or is he the money man?
He's everything. He runs everything. He oversees all the different departments, the money guy, the guy who deals with the insurance. It's his sole responsibility to keep this hospital afloat, which is an enormous undertaking.
He promoted Jordan to kind of the night shift administrator position. Why did
Yes.
he do that?
He promoted Jordan because he saw something in her. I think they were, to an extent, equals at a certain point, and then he got promoted to this position, and Jordan cornered him in the pilot and stated her case as to why she should be in that position, and he was convinced.
Is he going to feel threatened by having her own autonomy over the night shift?
No, no, not at all. He's not threatened by her or by anybody. I think that just sort of keeping this thing afloat is hard enough, and he's just trying to manage all the different departments.
Does he want to kind of turn a blind eye to kind of some of their antics?
He almost has to turn a blind eye to some of their antics, because Jordan and TC and a lot of the characters came from Afghanistan, and they came to this hospital with their own sort of methods of practicing medicine that worked for them, and this is the night shift, and I think that my character is really lucky to have them, and has to compromise from time to time.
Well, he's a bit of a hard ass. I mean,
He
he's
is a
not
bit
that
of a hard
permissive.
ass. It's his job. Yeah.
Well, TC's a wild card a little bit in the way he practices medicine.
Yeah.
So your character Ragosa has to really stand up to that sometimes. He's got to say, hey, you can't just do some of these tactics.
It's true, yeah. Well, that, and that's where my character and TC's character clash, because their methods of doing or practicing medicine come from being on the battlefield in Afghanistan, and I'm obviously a suit who plays by the rules, and so there's the conflict with we both have two different methods of working.
Is there like a mutual understanding underlying that, or do they just clash?
I just think that the TC and Ragosa clash, but in the end they have to have some form of understanding in order for them to work together.
Yeah.
And I think that to an extent Ragosa has to turn a blind eye to certain things that probably would not be acceptable to his higher ups, but in order to achieve results, he has to do that.
Well, he kind of did something a little sneaky. He hired TC's ex
He did.
to be kind of the administrator of the night shift. What was he thinking?
Ragosa's a bit of a politician and a bit of a chess player, and every move he makes is like a chess move. And I think that hiring TC's ex was one of those moves, and maybe an attempt to maintain control over everyone at the hospital.
Is it really about control, or is he just kind of thinking, oh, this might be fun, I'm going to throw a match in there?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both, a little bit of throwing a match in there and a little bit of maintaining control.
Interesting tactics.
It is. It is.
It can make some great TV.
Exactly. And interesting television.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel like he gets an opportunity to really have any connections, whether it be like a male bonding kind of situation or even like a romance. What's going on in his personal life?
Oh no! As the season progresses, Michael Ragosa's character evolves, and we get to see other sides of him, his personal side, and so pilots are always hard because you're just establishing all the different characters, but we get to see who he really is as the season goes on.
What would you say would be like the one term that you'd quantify as who he is?
He is he's a politician. At the end of it, that's what he is. And I think that he's like a CEO of a company almost, and I think a lot of times CEOs of companies have to be politicians in order to maintain a healthy company, and I think that's kind of who he's modeled after.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.